Good evening, everyone, and greetings to all of you who are listening to our program. Our health lecture today starts with the nutrition. So many at the beginning of the COVID-19, people were saying that there's a lot of things that were eaten in China and they're okay, but then they realized that, not every animal is clean. There are some clean animals and there are some unclean animals. Anyway, just to let you know, to give you perspectives, there are groups of people, there are two of them, and we want to distinguish. The Honsos of the Himalayas are the group of people who are not totally vegetarian, but majority of their diet is plant-based. They go up and down the mountain with ease. You will never find an obese or chubby person in the group. They only have goats for cottage cheese. Their snacks, if ever they would, will be dried apricots or peaches. They drink mineral water from the spring. And listen to this, at 110 years old, a man is still fathers a child. Think about it. Now there's another group of people in Africa called the Maasai of Africa. This group of people are active physically. They eat a lot of tubers like yam and potatoes. They walk a lot during the day, but they include blood in their diet. The result is that they have the worst record of life expectancy. Men are expected to live 42 years, while women are expected to survive at the age of 45 years. What is wrong with this picture? What we have to see is that nutrition plays a vital role in our existence and longevity. For example, before the flood, people were actually average 900 years before they died. So far, the lowest is Lamech 777. But after the flood, the highest is 500 years old, and then they died, and the lowest is 119. What went wrong there? We can see that nutrition plays a vital role. Now, when we eat, how do we know that we are eating nutritious food? What are the bases to determine this issue? Health Canada Food Guide has stated that the diet be composed of carbohydrates, fats, protein, minerals, and vitamins. If these food groups are present in our diet, chances are we are eating nutritious meal. But that is only the beginning. Digestion is another challenge we need to address. First, when does digestion process begins? And many people think that by eating. Digestion starts from where? From the smell of the food. When one sees the food, then it goes on when you begin to chew the food, and there's an enzyme in the mouth called amylase that helps. It helps in the partial digestion until the person swallows the food, which become a chyme. And the chyme will actually combine with stomach acid together with the hydrochloric acid secreted in the duodenum. That is the junction between the stomach and the small intestine. So when the chyme reaches the small intestine, the pancreatic acid further helps in the chemical digestion, while the peristalsis aids in the physical digestion. The semi-liquid substances will be absorbed in the villi, or the openings of the small intestine, then goes to the bloodstream, then to cells, and then it's utilized by the cells. And the process is called tricarboxylic acid, or we call that ATP is the result, the adenosine triphosphate. The tricarboxylic acid cycle is actually known in a different name. It's called, we call that in a different name. And when the body finally produce the end product of digestion, we call that the ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. That's the powerhouse of the body. And therefore, the entire process of digestion will continue for the next 29 hours or more. It's funny. Well, carbohydrates should be eaten because it's the primary source of energy of the body, but the carbohydrates are divided into two, those with fibers and those with the starches. So when the carbohydrates are digested, it should produce glucose. which actually makes us powerful. But of course, we have also protein that makes the building blocks of the body. Especially, it is needed for those growing up. And fats are of two kinds. We have the saturated and we have the unsaturated. The unsaturated is better because the saturated becomes what? Becomes a hindrance to proper circulation of the blood, and it causes a lot of things. Now, I know that the West consumes a lot of sugar. Here is something that we have to remember. 24 teaspoons of sugar reduces the ability of white blood cells 92% to fight against bacteria. So only 8% of the soldiers that we have, the white blood cells, actually can fight if we consume 24 teaspoons of sugar. And we can get that from soft drinks, coffee, or any other thing that has sugar. And that's why the sugar in the drinks is not very good, because it actually enhances the bacteria to get alive, and our soldiers, the WBC or white blood cells, are actually reduced to an 8% because 92% is reduced. Only 8% is left to fight the bacteria. No wonder people who are wanting to eat a lot of sugar have a common colds most of the time. Wow. Vitamins and minerals. Vitamins are regulators of the body. And of course, they actually have, the coenzymes. Vitamin A, for example, it's coenzymes and helps the metabolism of the body. The minerals are actually included in the body because they make our body complete. Now, when we talk about cholesterol, the bad one is actually LDL, or the low density lipoprotein. See, cholesterol is fats and protein mixed together, and they become a blockage. When too much of them are in the bloodstream, they block the flow of the blood, and when it is done, we call that stroke. That's why there is actually a lesson for all of us in the Bible, Leviticus 11 and Leviticus 7:23. It says there, God said we are not to eat the fats of the animals, and we should not eat blood. Why? Blood is the way by which the body transports both the nutrients of the body as well as the garbage or the waste products. Can you imagine if you eat blood? You get both. And of course the fats. Any fats coming from the animals is called cholesterol. And cholesterol that is bad is always 27 carbons. And the body cannot digest. See, when the body digests the fats, it's 2 by 2. But then remember, it cannot be digested if there's more than. And so remember, very important, even the Bible tells us that we should not eat the fats of the animals. How do we know that we are eating nutritious food? Eat plant-based. Combinations of different beans and legumes and vegetables, fruits, and also those what we call complete diet, plant-based, like seeds and other things that are plant-based. It will be what? It will be good for us. So nutrition is very important. All we have to do is eat the plant-based diet. And thank you so much. Until next time, we'll see you again.